to change their destinies in this game 6 to have one of the best comebacks possible for day 2 and the 6 more games tomorrow.
Of course, right? We're all excited about some of the teams higher up in the leaderboard, but the potential for some of these teams lower down to surprise us in day 2 and show us that intention in this final game is very, very high. A lot of teams that have pop-off potential of their own, but this is not good at all. And Nas taking out Malibuka early doors.
Looks like it's even before the landing happens, before the feet even touch the ground. All up to Bristash now, and he has been the star player as of recent for this duo when it comes to the aggression and the elims within this tournament, within the latter games, specifically I think 4 or 3. The 16 rocking in, he had about 12 of them. We'll see what he can do with this type of loadout. Every option available for him to push forward with. Risky to go down. Let's see if Malibuka got to even touch where he wanted to go. Has a sniper to rock in with. After that, burst AR, seen from the backside. Pink on his walls. Where does the Nas kind of chomp from? The other way. Striker, straight to the face.
You know, that's interesting, right? Because you saw where Malibuka went to land, right? He doesn't need to land on that side of top. He can just go to Blimp. They can play it safer, right? They're greeding for, what, an extra 2 henchman chests? Look, henchman chests are great. I don't mind a couple here and there. But with the loot they have on Blimp, the loot that's below the Blimp as well, if they just land Blimp, play it safe, we're talking about another game where they're upsetting the apple cart, pushing their way into contention with Aqua and Vino. Now, that journey just looks so much more difficult, and now we're even thinking about Tayson and Chapix really starting to separate from those guys as well.
So game 6, though, that's where some of the changes happen in that 2-day format. And we've also seen, you know, issues off spawn for both Anas, Pink, and Mustache Malibuka specifically. Maybe one person gets taken out, they still all make the end game. I think 1 out of 5 games so far that's been a thing. Right now, Refsguard very frustrated with how his off spawn story has been going. Actually diving, grabbing in, and proactively taking shots. Usually it's a waiting game. You can see the distress on Asvi's face. Unfortunately, both him and Siren go down. Refsguard and Clown do not want to fool around anymore.
Yeah, closing this fight out much quicker than the previous games. We saw last game, this fight lasted a century. I actually grew up, graduated uni, had children, got married. My children graduated uni as well in the time it took for the fight to close out. This time though, making it quick, nice and easy.
How are the grandkids?
Well, on the way.
I was about to say, you could have claimed like one player, saying like, oh, he's playing right now.
Who's my son in this lobby? I think my son would be Pink.
Really?
Yeah, that's my son.
That's your son?
Yeah.
Would he be cool with you saying that too? Like you guys have that type of close relationship?
He's fuming if I said that. But, yeah, I don't care.
Respectfully.
You know what? You know who else is my son?
Who?
Hen. Hen, that's my son as well.
Yeah.
They're all my sons. Tayson's my son as well, actually. They're all my sons, man. All of them, they're my sons.
Family reunion must be a lot of fun, you know?
Not
Thanksgiving?
really.
Not really.
Nah.
I mean, the interviews look good.
Oh, thank you. Can't wait to hop back in the lobby with all those guys. Yeah.
You wore the same shirt for the whole week, yeah?
For a whole month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just that shirt.
Look at this. Bodasai Snazy. I mean, they did not expect this once again on day 1. We talked about it a few games ago. They were expecting some sort of turbulence on the flight of finals for the last 6 games, but so far the cabin's been a little bit of a rocky ship, and this is the first time that an advantage, it seems like, off of spawn.
We talked about how much of a surprise it was for them. Many people expected Podesai and Snazy to be a huge contender to push into the top 5, maybe even win it all with some luck going their way, but that's not been the case. And with Flois and Mappy now giving them issues here, it looks further and further from being a possibility. Mustache, on the right of your screen. Was it Mustache that went down in the first place, or am I bugging?
It's always a flippity-floppity. I think it was Malibuka that went down immediately. Mustache, I was talking about, oh, you know, man has 12 elims, 16 elims, now it's up to him again. That's how I remember, you know?
Okay.
It's the one-liners.
If not, somebody in Twitch chat will let you know. Probably.
I'll check the Reddit threads.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
Someone will let you know.
Yeah.
Tayson, though, picking up some eliminations on
2 pads!
Yeah, look, you get 2 pads from the Collider, right?
But like, there's other teams there, man. What are they doing?
They just took out the other team. That is Vico and Jackson, you know? They just...
But it seems so easy. What is this?
It is easy for them. Look at this. Oh, wow. Yeah.
This man is a shooter. Mega super nice IGL fragger extraordinaire and a gymnast, apparently.
A gymnast.
A gymnast, apparently.
Look,
Circus freak. Like, what is this?
he made Vico look like easy work. But look, do not be fooled. Vico is a top up-and-coming German player. A great fighter, but against the mighty Tyson, everybody looks average at times, you know?
I mean, you got to be proud.
Yeah, look, I'm proud of my son. I am proud of him. And Zeke, we did fix our beef. We fixed our issues. So...
Don't even need to go into details. I fully...
Don't need... Nah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
look, it was actually Mama Tyson. She sorted it all out. Made sure everything was good, you know?
Very nice. You see over here, Rabbit and Fnyayan specifically, right? I think their issues have just been with the vibe of EU overall. They picked a storyline which is very tragic. The first game wonders. Really good. I think they had 70 points, 50, 60 points coming in, more than half. And now by game 6, in trouble, man.
Yeah, you can see they clearly want to get back involved in this fight towards the Joneses. We saw them here early in the day. They sort of eased off it a bit, but once they started to ease off, a bit less fortune. You can see how patient they are, lining up the head.
Come on, come on.
What?
What?
I would have taken it there.
Do it. Whoop.
Do it.
There's something they don't know.
Come on, do it. He's waiting to just line up like a
There's
triple
just
headshot.
no way.
He wants double headshot.
Nice, nice. Triple.
I love it.
See, the thing is, Bubak healed up so much. I'm wondering if he just did it so much earlier. He might have the advantage, but Fnyayan's just rolling in. Clearly knows way more than we do. He is just making sure the pressure does not stop. Bubak now in trouble. The pinch is coming in from Rabbit as well, so far away. Make sure Fury gets locked down. It's all about interrupting. We've seen these plays with the zip lines before. He's just trudging like a tank, like an armored train straight towards his enemy, but Fury stops him in his tracks.
I love the patience from them. And even then, after all that damage, they're not just pushing into it. They know Sabin and Yapko are still there. They know there's 2 teams.
Oh
and
my.
they can't afford to overextend. I'm loving it. Really nice work from them.
That patience. We would have messed that up completely.
Yeah, we would have shot instantly and just went down. 100%.
Oh, man. The way these players can also just end up staying together, too. It looks so basic in terms of plays that happen in the snap of a finger when both players are also just rolling around doing perfect pinches. It's very difficult to actually execute on the fly like that, especially at the Joneses.
Yeah, 100%. You have to have really great communication. Something that those two clearly have had. Thomas and Trippin almost have become like the forgotten Cavern team with all the success we've seen from some of the others. They've slipped under the radar, but 7th place is not too shabby whatsoever, especially with there being another day. Mustache is doing a great job of trying to stay in the game, but there is still a team here.
It's Pinkin and us.
Yeah, they're not letting him breathe. Pinkin and us do often stay late anyway,
Yeah.
right? So it's not surprising to see them deep here in the zone, but of course some added incentive with Mustache lurking around.
Oh,
they just scanned him. They know he's here. He can't get out. The armored wall will come.
It's on both sides.
He
He has
needs
to be able
break through
to.
his own one.
Yeah, this is just the test of time, and they can hear him clanging on it. So 2 pickaxes versus 1,
Yes.
and they're already on his walls. Nowhere to go. A flick from Pink, and he is gone.
That is so tough. They saw or they heard the armored wall, and from there it was wraps. We'll see what they can pull out here. Some interesting stuff in terms of how will they get to zone. It'll be fun to watch how they go about it.
Oh, wow.
Aqua and Vino were there as well.
Following them. They're just taking track of what's going on around the map. They can see the Elam happen to understand now the pace of the game. They're just checking the timer. Meanwhile, completely different form of what it looks like to be a Cavern team. Thomas and Tripper active, looking for a quick fight. You mentioned it, they like to move early.
We're seeing the benefits of that now all the way towards the south of Tilted. in a box fight that they are very comfortable in. Bad Sniper at DKS ain't been too hot.
This is where we saw Steady and Cammy before base up and look for a few surge shots. Wondering where they are in this game. Joins the Andy. I think one of the most impressive performances we're seeing so far today. The way they locked in their ticket to finals from the quals in that game 6. The way they're in top 5 right now as well. Fighting off Spawn over and over. Nice slide back shot straight into Mr. Bad Sniper. Compensation, he gets all that loot.
They've moved up into 6th place now. Slowly but surely working their way up. Again, this is a team who very much has a lot of the same power level, you'd say, maybe, as Aqua and Vino. They have the potential to be performing how they were. Like, in terms of like the way this lobby's playing out, if you swap them on the leaderboard, I'd believe it, you know? I'd be like,
really?
Oh, yeah, it makes sense, you know? Half the games, they get the vault loot, the other half,
the other
Vino
yeah,
get it, you know? It's like, you can see it going either way. I think this is probably the one season where Thomas isn't as much of a favorite as usual. Still is definitely considered by many a top team, a team that should get top 5, but not an all-out favorite for the overall win as he has been in previous seasons past.
You can see the comeback from Steady Cammy, saying they're, you know, kind of, what, a day 1 team overall? Like, in terms of previous FNCSs, that's where their power is?
Well, that's what it was always in the
past.
right?
Yeah. So they're staying true to it. Might have missed a few games earlier on, but triple digits in the last 2 games almost, right? Like that is huge in terms of the comeback.
Yeah, they've caught up. They've caught up, and they haven't really missed a beat since doing so, right? Like you said earlier, the top 5 right now literally just looks like everybody's prediction list from Twitter this morning. So we'll see if it holds.
Oh, Aqua down to Noah Riley. Something we were expecting at the start of this day, just the beginning of these games, it's finally coming to fruition.
Vino as a solo now. Very, very early on.
Huh?
Yanis, how? Hello? Vino? Hello?
I say, so he missed the bullets. They wrapped around the entire Earth and hit Janice in his box somewhere.
I don't get this guy, man. Like, how is he? Like, how? He's not going to get the elimination, right? Because Vortex can just revive, and he already has, but...
Okay. Damage.
Damage is good for Surge, and he is playing as a solo now, so he'll need to do a lot more damage, twice as much. Assuming everybody shares the Surge load evenly, which isn't the case, we know, but... For the sake of story, we'll call it that way. Janice and Vortex making their way into zone now.
Looking good while doing it. They've attracted the attention of other teams that's actually inside zone. That'll be Benji and Savage they're kind of rattling towards, and being one of the noisiest teams, many different sight lines and POVs will be looking to damage them as they move in. They're looking aggressive for this fight though, so might be something they're lacking. It might be damage overall. It might just be some type of loop, but Benji and Savage have already moved so far away underneath Tayson and Chapix.
Yeah.
And Dredda as well, in terms of a base, is one of the high ones.
It'll be interesting to see, right? Because you saw they were there positioned near the collider. I know Reese had a conversation with Janice about what their strategies for moving around the map would be in terms of Surge. And Janice did say they'd often look to try and make use of that collider to see if they could get around the map. And so if they position near it, that would be nice. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Tayson.
See, as good as that is, though, if Vito's in that position, he has an elimination.
Yeah, Vino would have got the knock there for sure, but he's getting the revive. Look.
Yeah.
He's revved, so...
Aqua's back, but every team will hear that, and I think they know exactly where Vino is for the moment. I know Janice and Vortex know specifically, and some other teams are already behind them in terms of positioning. They should hear that reboot van go off. It'll be very difficult for Aqua to find his way back into this game. If they somehow make top 5 in this game 11, I will be madly impressed.
I wouldn't even be surprised. I personally wouldn't be surprised. That is the caliber of team they are. That's how they've been playing today. It would not surprise me one bit if they were able to crawl their way back in this game. Cammy and City though.
Wow. What a wave. This is the angle to be able to take out those many builds, have that much more of an open sightline, have the knowledge to do that. Just amazing from Steady and Cammy.
Very experienced players. Know what they're doing in these situations. Cheat Show and Trulex. Another team that's known what they've been doing. We've seen them deep in many of these games playing mid-ground. Last game really was their time to shine on mid-ground without Malibuka and Mustache there. And this game will very much be a similar sort of beat where they will have free reign over what happens on those layers. Don't have to worry about the pre-editing plays of Malibuka and Mustache, who maybe jump on that wave themselves.
Stakes for this game currently as we find our way going closer towards the later portions. It is the final game of day number 1 overall. The team in the lead, Vino and Aqua on your screen, ahead by what seems to be almost 50, 60 points overall. They're doing so good on the day so far. A lot of teams want them to go down before the top 25 so they can catch up. Their mission is to get close to that top 15, the top 10, but currently with medkits, small fries, they're wondering who should have more HP going in towards the end game. They're the final boss the lobby can't really seem to take down. This is the maximum limit of our top 10, Scram and Hellfire. Looking at their POV, everyone in the top 10 just wants to win more currently, be consistent. If you're top 10 right now, you want to be top 10 in this game and maintain where you are on the leaderboard. For everyone else, you want that big catch-up. You want the victory royale. If you're in the bottom 40, you want the best possible thing in terms of just points at this moment. You want to take the biggest risks. Meanwhile, the best teams in the lobby want to play reserve. So we should see some very opposite yin-yang action all the way towards the end. Desperation versus just patience.
And we're seeing a lot of that, right? A lot of those teams have been able to stay in this one. Joe and Ziandi here, positioned well, looking for the spray. And maybe we'll be able to connect. Joe sneaking some shots in there, and he's not done just yet. Looking for more. And running low on the ammo though, right? Doesn't have much in the reserve.
Doesn't have much for damage either. 152 below is what the update is for the moment, but every time I jump the gun on it,
I was gonna say, man,
I was just making the call there. I was like, I know things now. Apparently, I'm still as dumb as I am before. It's still good.
I'm mad jaded when it comes to that stuff. I've done it many a time.
174, it's good. Jackson, it seems like he's had such a terrible day so far in terms of just being able to survive and thrive, but I think the reason I remember his name is because we see him in almost every single 8th zone weapon. He's living till the end of the game.
Jackson's done brilliantly here, right? We saw early in the game Tayson taking out Vico in a very flashy way, to say the least. But Jackson did well to stay alive as a solo. It's not often that you can get away in those situations.
Most impressive thing, as a solo, staying ahead of Surge. As a solo, having this much of a base and a lot of mats still left in the reservoir.
We'll see how far he can go, of course. It's never going to be easy. See Clement now and Floki making their way in. We've seen them struggle in some of these games, but coming up against Seti and Kami doing big damage. Getting so close as well to actually taking them out. The sprays come through, they're dropping them down. They want to close it out, and they have. They've picked Seti up. Kami has to be a solo now. And a key, crucial couple of shots there from Floki and Clement, the Frenchies. And Kami barely escaping as well.
That is just literally the perspective of desperation versus patience. Kami Seti just want to move on, get along, get to the next position. They're not really looking at who's really around them. They're thinking about how to win and just be able to stay inside that top 5, top 10, be consistent in the game. Meanwhile, Floki, Clement, 72 points so far behind, looking to get the frags first, looking to get as many points on the board from the position that they can, take it step by step.
We're going to see a lot of these teams now starting to have their struggles. Zara won't be able to outhill Storm Surge for much longer.
Tayson taking out Aqua inside the feed, so he's really trying to grab
down as well
towards the top. So they're frozen. I said they need to go down before top 25. They go down in 27th overall, it looks like. So a chance for these top 3 on their own islands to catch up. I think the goal is about 215 points that team needs to hit.
This is an opportunity for Tayson and Chapix to really put themselves in a good position going into tomorrow. Can they close that distance?
Pink and Anas are also all the way towards the top, right above them in height. 110 points for Hellfire and Scram. They're not going to be that upper echelon we're looking at. If we can get an update to see these top teams, how close are they for the moment. These guys are actually really close. Hellfire, Thomas HD. So there's a fight right now between the top three, trying to claim who can be the king of EU before day 2. And then after that, a fight in that bottom 5 to all the way to 10th. It's a 10-point almost differential as to who can be inside the highest money so far going into day 2.
Yeah, you can see already the classic posturing towards height that we'll see in these games. Pink and Anas will just peek there for the moment, right?
It's costly to take out Mustache and Malabuka off spawn. It leaves you possibly sometimes just as a solo. Here's Tayson and Chapix's POV, 171 points. They're about 40 behind so far.
They can very much recycle that pad. You can see running in, they have all the chunk splashes in the world as well. So they can just use this and start to have some height dreams. Will anybody turn them into nightmares? You can see there is somebody vying for it. Tayson though, choosing now, it's not the time. But who is it? Noah Riley, Vidil. Is this gonna be their typical one-game wondrous win? Will this be the time? They have height, and I don't think there's many other teams in this one that can really pose a threat to them, who will really look to try to take it from now. So if they can hold on, Vidil has so many materials, it looks very, very possible, Shayo.
So high in the sky, and that low ground can only really get higher. So their perspective right now is just very, very powerful. Meanwhile, though, down at low ground, same story, different day. Thomas HD in the clutch seat.
Thomas tripping in the zone, in the back of the zone, not able to hit the shots. Thomas, he goes down. Cammy also just lurking, picks up Shizo as he runs his way into the zone. We saw how he went down, but he's able to stay in the game, and he's looking rather strong even for a solo.
They'll still move. Chapix and Tayson on second height. Chapix gets dropped. Tayson follows. They're actually just switching layers, going straight to low ground. What a call to make up in second place. They're just trying to do something very creative here and dodge all the pressure.
And you can see they've claimed the front side of the low ground. This is going to be such a great position for them to claim as many eliminations as humanly possible. As we see another fight for higher ground, we wondered whether Vidil and Noah Riley would hold on to it. Stompy and Jew look to try and test them, but a test that they pass, they hold on.
So high to grab, and it doesn't cost Vidil anything. Barely even used any mats. That's the key so far. And Dreda as a solo down below. Top 12 right now. What does he want to do in terms of the end of day 1? Get more points. Is it possible? With no materials, with no chance, with no perspective. I want to wait, but it's a duel he has to fight. He goes down.
Crushed Andretta beneath the lobby. Chicho and Trulex. I said this was their chance to try and dominate in the mid ground without Malabuka and Mustache here. We're seeing Tayson and Chapix do a very similar thing. 4 eliminations thus far. Joe now is a solo, doesn't have the firepower of Yandy with him, but has his own firepower. Hitting a huge shot into Shmeki. Can he hit more though? Needs to find some space, calm down a bit. And that breathing room will be just what he needs to get his HP back up.
Chapix now all the way down to maximum. Low is going to be the ultimate chance for him to gain some control, but Clown and Rustguard are there. They splinter the second team in half. Going to be unfortunate for them to keep moving. Just Tayson as a solo. Looks like Chapix might have had a lot of the mats, so he was desperate to get some more. He has to now do this with just 200 wood.
And at the same time, Noah Riley Vidil still applying all that pressure. Clown and Refsguard looking to try find their feet on the low ground. Refsguard running his way on in. Joe, he's just trying to stay inconspicuous. Doesn't want anybody to spot him out. Clown though has lost Refsguard. It's Stompy in the zone. They're going to clash heads. He needs to hit a big shot. The 70 isn't going to be enough, but Kefi will go down. Melody is going to follow soon as well. Low on the HP. The meat coming out, and he does claim the splashes, he does see it, but the refresh is coming in. The med mist as well. He has the tools to stay in the game if he needs to, and that's exactly what he has to do with low materials.
Tayson also, same situation, less splashes, more mist. He starts to move way in the backside of the zone. Vidil senses something wrong. He's looking back there for these teams, for these solos, just misting away inside the storm. Big shot from Tayson, narrowly misses Clown's head, going for the haircut, but doesn't find anything from the scout. Clown now looking back for the next shot. Tayson blocked off from all sides. Looks for the prediction, but no, Clown goes down. No Cypher for him. Tayson is gone. To the final 2v2, Marine, Rifla, Vidil, Noah Riley. Big shot from Vidil. You talk about their crazy game. They're going maniacal with this one. Slide jump from Vidil to close it out. Rifla goes down, and they make it look spectacular at the end of game 6.
Simply breathtaking from Noah Riley and Vidil. They're always good for one, Shayo. At some point, regardless of how the day is faring, they will always get their one victory royale and do it in spectacular fashion as well. A beautiful final shot here from Vidil onto Rifla and a nice victory royale.